Okay, got the carburetor all on, gaskets all on. It's not a stock carburetor, or I mean a breather. It's a Screaming Eagle, and cranked up. Now the guy said when I bought it there was no spark, but you know, I don't know if the guy knew what he was doing or not, but he had no spark, but he had the carburetor all apart, had the front end all apart, had you know, the throttle up here all apart. Like, if you got no spark, why is all this stuff apart? So anyways, I put it all together assuming that there's going to be no spark, but I just thought maybe he had the wiring wrong somewhere or something, just not put together right. But sure enough, he doesn't have spark. So I'm going to pull the tank off. I checked power for the main ignition breaker, and there's power there coming and going through that. So I got to take the tank off to get to the ECU or CDI box and check the coil and check the box out. Hopefully he's just got that wired wrong. Find out, I don't know. So I just clipped the little straps holding the wiring in here. To disconnect the fuel level. That one there. He's got all these rolls of, here's the antenna wire he's got all coiled up in here, and this isn't stock. I think this is for the alarm system he had on there. The overflow hose. Just gonna take that out of there, that out of there. And I just gotta undo the front bolt here. Looks like 7/16, ½ inch. It's got a lot of stuff on here, double nutted, and I'm sure Harley, I don't remember ever seeing double nutting on Harley, but this thing's got double nuts on it. Now he's changed the ignition coil wires, so he's obviously had this off before. There, I got my good jeans on again, didn't take them off. Yeah, I may have to go get changed. My wife will kill me. I ruined so many pants, shirts. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go get changed. Crazy dog. Get off of there. I'll get a nylon lock nut on there. What are you doing, dog? Okay, let's see if I've got everything disconnected. Get out of it. Get over there. Fuel line. Forgot to disconnect the fuel line. Flat screwdriver. You got crap in my garage somewhere, dog? Leave your mark. There. I think the vacuum hose is connected to this as well too. I'm pretty sure. Oh, the crossover hose. Tools needed to take off that crossover line or disconnect it. First pinch the line off in the middle somewhere. And I just use punches, just some nice tapered punches to shove in there. I also got a hose clamp to clamp it onto the other side of the tank. But just you shove that punch in there good like that, that's not coming out. Okay. I'm just going to pinch that off. Not going to see much from there. Need my screwdriver. Pliers. Phillips screwdriver. Two. Rerun. If that time's gonna work. Still on? Yeah. All right, this is going to make a bit of a mess. Let me get a rag. I just turned my furnace on a minute ago. Just need to run it for like 2 minutes. It's warm in here. It's supposed to get frost tonight for the first time this year. Okay, little dog wants in, but he can wait a minute. Okay, there we go. How'd you get in here? You open up the door yourself? Okay, now let's stick the punch in the other line and take that clamp off. Right here. Clamp that under tight. I want to get to the bottom of this spark issue right now in case I got to order a CDI unit. There's a good deal on eBay right now for $28. It says tested and working, so let's get to the bottom of it right now. So this tank's probably going to be off for a week, so I want to make sure it's clamped on there good, especially if I got my furnace going. Okay. You gonna shut the door? Go shut the door. This chain's probably hung up on something. So there's quite a bit of gas in there. Didn't think I'd put that much in there. Okay. There's the coil. Need a bigger garage, bigger garage. There. It's the ignition module right here. Needs new plugs anyways. These plugs are pretty old piece of, look at the rusty old spark plug. I'm just making sure all the wires and connectors are on because somebody has put some aftermarket connectors on here. Okay, that wire's for the horn. The bigger, fatter wire here is coming from the sending unit down there. So we're going to check all the components out. I think I'll pull the box off, pull the coil off, and then go through each of the checks to, to see where my problem is. So let me do that. It's just 2 bolts on the coil and 2 bolts on CDI box. That's 2 great big 3/8 bolts with a 9/16 nut on the end of it that hold that little CDI box in. A little overkill. Okay. There's a separate little ground wire here. Need my Phillips screwdriver. Also on this bike, I noticed I turned the lights on, and all the running lights work, the signal light running lights work, but the signal lights don't work. And all these Harleys in the mid 80s, up until today I'm sure, have a signal light canceling unit box. It's in another computer box, and they fail. Holy mother of all creatures large and small. Okay. I'll clean up all these grounds here too when I put this back together. Let me just put that right back in there. It's grounded to the frame and it's grounded to the fairing chassis. No, I'll keep that clamp. I'm going to keep that clamp right on there. Okay, so we got what do they got? Oh, okay, this is no, the ignition switch is up there. Why do they have this one going down here? Oh, this is to the, so from this CDI box, ECU, there's a one wire that goes to the vacuum switch on the carburetor. So we'll disconnect that there. That's the purple wire. That shouldn't affect it, whether it starts or not starts though. And so, the other wire here. Okay, so I'm doing this on video, so I'm going to this is going to be how I record this. So looking at the ignition coil, the pink wires on the bottom and the navy blue wires on the top, because these two wires, this wire, the pink wire, goes right into the harness, and this white wire goes right into the harness as well too. So I just wanted the white wire is bolted on. Rerun, it was, wait a minute. And then the black wire that's on that same bolt goes to the ECU. So I'll unplug the navy blue wire as well. There we go. So somebody's made these wires. I'm going to check the wires as well. Okay, I'm going to disconnect the wire to the pickup coil. Well, uppy. Oh, you clip the straps to that wire. You helping me, dog? You helping me? Causing me grief. You causing me grief. Now that wire sticks into the frame, but I think I can pop it out. There we go. And then there's a plug boot down here to unplug it. But I need some light to see. Right here. Right here. What if I can train you to sit in that box for a motorcycle ride? Like Adam Sandoval and his dog Scooter. I had a dog named Scooter before. Okay, let me get my light and see how to unplug that. Watch out, dog, watch out, watch out, watch out. There's the lights over there. Yeah, my goal is to get this bike running, take it down to Oklahoma, Texas next year. That's what I want to do. There's that connection right there. This is in the way. Rerun, come on, leave me alone. Leave me alone. What do you want? On up? Uppy? On up? What do you want? It's too early to go for anything else. Okay. Rerun. Just kind of pulls apart. Rubber's a little brittle and hard. Now I will be checking that pickup as well too. But let me put everything else on the bench. Okay. You in trouble? I smell crap. It always leaves me a present. Little prick. Oh my God, that was a big one. Oh crap. Fucking dog. Come here. You can't get over here. You stay there. You stay there. Watch your leash on. You want to go outside? You go outside. Oh. Okay, so let me see. So the longer one's on that side. Shorter one's on that side. Oh, let's turn this down here. The video recorder is a good way for me to look back and just double check the wiring. But that's how those wires came off like that. And somebody's made these wires, so I'm just checking to make sure they're good. Yeah. They may not be perfect, but if I'm getting continuity like that, I'm getting spark, and I'm not getting spark. Okay. Now, okay, so I'm going to check out the ECU, ignition component resistance, and I'm going to start with this, the connector that goes to the pickup coil. And they got a little diagram in here. It shows you which way to hold it or position it, and then which wire is the black wire. Although if you can look at the back here, you can see the black wire is this one here on the side. So we're going to check from this black wire to the little ground wire here on it. And it's supposed to be 0. There, I'll put my meter up here. If you can see that or not. Maybe. Let's see. Maybe like that, I don't know. got 0 ohms there, so that's good. Go to the next test, and we're going to check the white wire. You can do this on your bike. It just says disconnect the wire on your bike. Disconnect all the components on your bike. You could leave it all bolted on there. I'm taking it out. As you know, this bike's been screwed with, so I want to check all the connections, clean them all, and then see if the guy's fucked up somewhere. Like something's been bastardized. Anyways, okay. So from the white wire, and when I'm checking these, it's such low resistance. You don't want your fingers touching the connections on either end because your body is a conductor. So I'm just holding it off like this, and we want 800 to 1300 ohms. Okay, so I got this there. I got this on 200K, and I'm getting low. So 200K. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not getting really nothing there. Supposed to get between 800 and 1300 ohms. 800 and 1300K. So that should be in this range here. This goes up to 200K, this range. 20K, well, let's go to 20K. Let's go to, yeah, 2K. We got 1300K. No, we're getting nothing. We're getting nothing on that one. We're supposed to get 800 to 1300K. And then the next test is the blue wire, the navy blue wire. And we're supposed to get 400 to 800K. And we're getting decimal 21. Put it on 200K there. Yeah, so that isn't right either. So those two tests aren't right there. I don't know if you can see that on there. There's my connector there. So red to green. Can you see that? Maybe see that, I don't know. There's so much freaking light here. I can see it, I don't know if you can or not, but anyways, from red to green it's supposed to be 300 ohms, and that's these two here. Oh, let's put that down to a lower scale. And then from black, red to green, and then black to red. Should have showed this video at the very beginning. I'm just inserting it now, but I did check it, I just didn't film it. So I've got no spark, and so in anything, car, motorcycle, four-wheeler, quad, you know, first thing you want to check is make sure you got power going to your the fuse, main breaker, fuse, or whatever. And in this case, on this FLHT, you got to take the fairing off to get at it. And I don't know if you can see in the video there. Hopefully you can. Yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 breakers there. There's some writing on it. I'm just kind of seeing what the writing is, but the first one is your ignition I should have looked at the book. 1 second. So the first one's ignition, the second one's lights, and then accessories and radio. So just clip this to a ground somewhere. I got a good ground out here. I don't know if this is. I'll try to see if that's grounded. Turn the lights on. Yeah, I may not have a good ground here. Let's see here. Come on. That's got to be a good ground. There we go. So I'm checking both sides of the breaker. Just check these other ones when I'm here. So that's the first thing. So I got power to the breaker. And then I got the ignition switch turned on right now, right? So then I want to check. From the breaker, power goes to the ignition module down here. So let me clip this on here. So the white wire with the eyelet in it bolts to the coil, and the lead from the white wire lead from the ignition module bolts to that as well too. So now we're going to check to make sure we got power from that main breaker, ignition breaker, to this. Turn the power on. I just got this clamped to ground. So we got hydro there, and you can check your kill switch at this point too. See if the kill switch is working. That's working. Okay. So now let's go check the components on the bench through Harley's tests. I probably should have just done some of these tests on the bike before taking it all apart, but I got a big battery here. I'm just simulating it being on the bike. So the yellow is my positive, ground. I got the module here. So the first test is just basically checking to see if you got power to the coil. Well, I got power directly to the coil there, so through the harness. So we know we did that. We did that on the bike. So the second test here is you remove the blue wire, which goes to the module from the coil, and turn the switch on. Well, this is the power switch here, so that'll give me power on the positive side of the coil. And I want to check for voltage on both sides. Well, I'm going to obviously have voltage there. I don't know if I should put this meter up where you can read it here. Can you see that there? I think so, yeah, you can see that. So obviously if I put voltage there, I'm going to have voltage right there. That's just a stupid test. But it's saying I should have voltage on both sides of the coil. And I've got it hooked up to the white that goes to the module, which is the power wire. And if I've got power coming to the positive side of the coil, and then coming out the negative, be some resistance, but you should still get voltage there, and I'm not. So I'm not getting voltage going through the coil. According to this test, turn the ignition switch on, multimeter red wire alternately to white wire to the terminal and blue wire to the terminal. And I'm not getting voltage there. Let me see if I get voltage. Come on, put that on there. To this blue wire here. I'm getting a little bit of voltage on that blue wire. Not very much. Here's another test for the module. Got one of my leads to the ground on the module, and then I'm going to check the resistance to the black wire in the harness here, and we're looking for less than 1 ohm. And that's the black wire, this one here. And I got about 0.4 of an ohm. So that checks out good. If it's more than an ohm, it says replace it. So I got less than an ohm there. Next test is the white wire to ground for my meter. Let's see that on there or not. Ohms, 2K. Supposed to get between 800 and 1300 ohms. I got it set on the 2K, 2000 ohms. This is the white wire. I got it grounded, and I always check to make sure I got a good connection before I start here. So I'll just touch my two end connectors. That's good there. Check it at the other end down here. Make sure I got it clamped good. Right there. And at the white wire here, I'm getting nothing. I've tried this test 4 or 5 times, wiggling wires everywhere, different settings. I'm getting nothing. So it says replace module. Now there's another test from the blue wire, this wire, to ground. We'll check that one too. This is supposed to be 400 to 800K. And I'm getting nothing there as well. The blue, it has this, the white wire should be disconnected from the coil, and the blue wire should be disconnected from the coil for these two tests. I'm getting nothing. Replace, it says. It's looking more and more like my module. Now I checked the resistance on the sending unit, and I couldn't get anything. It's 300 to 750 ohms. But like it says, all these tests you're supposed to do with the Harley meter, and I don't have a Harley meter. Don't know anybody that does. So it's hard to tell. Now I did put voltage to the coil, check for spark, and I'm getting spark that way, so I believe the coil's good. So it's kind of getting to the point, I'm not sure about the resistance on the pickup coil because my meter's not reading it. I ordered another brand new pickup coil here somewhere. I just had it here last night, and I checked the resistance on that. I'm not getting nothing on that, but it's brand new, so it should be good. So is my meter bad? Is my meter showing me that everything's bad here? And even with the coil tests, you know, the coil tests here from the resistance through the primary, I'm getting nothing, and you're supposed to get, where is it in here? You're supposed to get a certain amount of resistance there too. Let's see here. They've got live tests with power, and then they've got tests without power for the coil. Now here's my new pickup plate, and it says check from the red wire to ground, and I should get infinite resistance. That's what I'm getting there. And then it says check from the black to the green, and I should get 300 to 750 ohms. And I'm not getting nothing there. And that's the check I was doing on the bike. I got nothing there. But that's supposed to be with a Harley meter. So, you know, you don't know if it works or doesn't work, because that's brand new. So what a lot of guys do is they go to an XL aftermarket ignition system, and it combines the pickup coil with the CDI box, and then it comes with a dual fire coil as well too. Might even be able to get away with using this coil, but the whole kit, the kits range from anywhere from 175 bucks to 230 bucks, and you can just, you know, you can start buying these components. You know, according to my meter, everything on this bike is no good. Like the signal module, you know, my meter says it's no good, it's not working, and they do fail. They fail all the time, so I really do suspect that's bad. The resistance test on the coil says it's no good. The only thing that I know on any coils, when you check from, Harley doesn't even have this test in there, but when you check the high tension side for resistance, I'll set this on 20K on here. You can check the resistance through that, and I'm getting 11,000, you know, 435K resistance. And to me, on most coils, Honda, Yamaha, Kawasaki, Suzuki's, most ignition coils is around that 10,000 to 14,000K. So to me, that's good there. But I'm not getting resistance through the primary side. I can't get anything. Put this down on the low scale here. Oh, I just got a wiggle there. Oh, there we go. I got 3 ohms there, which is about good. Maybe it's got a dirty connection there. Yeah, I'm getting 3 ohms there. So I believe that's normal there. So the coil's good, and I can make the coil spark as well too. When I put power to it, and you can click it, I'm getting spark. So the coil's good. The pickup tests fail on my meter. The module fails on my meter. So there's the new module. I got the same readings as I get on the old one. I've got another Harley engine here I'm going to need this for up on my bench here, over there. So this isn't going to waste. But I'm really thinking about ordering the whole ignition package. Although there's a guy selling one of these on eBay. I'm going to go check right now. It's cheap enough. Because I'm not getting spark. Okay. You can see here I'm going to get spark when I put power to the coil. You can hear that. So the coil's making spark. This coil's working. It's leaning more and more towards that ignition module. But I'm just debating whether to get the whole kit, the newer ones. I would take the ignition module off of that FXR, but it's different connections on it. I could probably make it work, but it's a pain to get at that one. Okay, let's see what I can do from here. Here's one on eBay. Ultima single fire programmable ignition kit, Harley V twins. If that means 1970 to 03. Anyways, that's what I'm thinking about. Rather than spend another $100 or so on a module, I think I'm just going to order this Dyna 2000 Ultima programmable single fire electronic ignition module. Fits pretty much all the Harleys except for the dual cams. And yeah, I'm gonna order that. So stay tuned when that comes in.